I've lived alone for over a decade now. I left home when I was 18 years old, right? Going to Russia, I didn't know anybody. You get used to it. I don't know how people in the olden days did it, where you have to write letter and wait like 3 months to hear back from your family. And in all of this, you see us coming here smiling. Like there are so many things like you've gone through behind the scenes, but you're not talking about. But like we thank God, like. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lola Lolita. If you are seeing baby girl for the very first time, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Guys, I know I've left you hanging for a long time. I haven't done a sit down video in such a long while, and I apologize for that. And I'm hoping moving forward we're able to like do sit down videos and talk about important topics. So please leave your questions in the comment section, topics you'd like me to talk about, if it's migration or like just life in Australia. If you have like pressing questions you'd like to find out more about life in Australia. I have been in Australia for 6 years there about now, almost 6 years, so I have an idea what I'm talking about. So definitely don't forget to ask your questions. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I see you. Thank you for tuning in once again. So disclaimer, all the opinions in this video are mine only. Please do your own research. I may be rusty. Please do your own research and feel free to ask your questions once you've done your research. I'm not a migration agent, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a financial expert, I'm none of that. I'm just a girl from Nigeria living in Australia, sharing her thoughts and opinion about life in Australia. Okay, so let's get right into this video. Today we'll be answering your much awaited Q&A questions. So let's not even lie about it. I didn't get a lot of questions. I've been off of like social media for a while, so I think people have not really been seeing my content. Okay, so leave a like if you've seen my content. So I got like 2 questions, and those questions have like parts to them. So I'm going to read those questions, and maybe I'll go on my Instagram DM and read some questions from there. Let's see how that goes. I want this video to be quick. Okay, so let's get right into it. This is from Roberta8672, and the question, Roberta is a girl's name, right? I'll say it's a she. Correct me if I'm wrong. Roberta has said, "Hi Lola, my name is Roberta and I hope you're doing great. I have a couple of questions to ask you. I'll leave the questions on the screen. If I'm not being rude, that is in bracket. Why did you leave Russia for Australia?" So I'm going to answer the questions in steps. Why did I leave Russia for Australia? So Russia was not the end goal for me for so many reasons. First of all, I went there to study. So I knew at the back of my mind it was study and then find somewhere else to like go to, relocate to. By the time I finished school in 2018, I won't say Nigeria wasn't an option, but with the course I studied, yes, I'm an aeronautical engineer by profession. So with what I studied, Nigeria was not really the best place for me to like work. If I wanted to get work, I didn't think at that point in time I'd get the kind of job I wanted in Nigeria. So I had a few options. It was either do your masters or relocate to another country. And luckily for me, first of all, why was Russia not an option? The language. I studied in Russian language. If you know anything about languages, Russian is one of the hardest languages. It's up there. I learned it. I did my bachelor's in Russian. Like, don't play with me. So I knew I didn't want to stay there. I wanted a country where I could speak and communicate freely in English. I'm from Nigeria, in case you're new to my channel, and our official language is English. I studied in primary and secondary school or junior and high school in English language. So English is basically my first language, right? So I wanted a country where I didn't have to worry about, oh, like, what are they saying? Am I sure I'm translating it correctly? And all of that. So that was the reason Russia wasn't an option. And then Australia I would say fell on my lap, but it was God's plan, yeah. Um, so and that led me to Australia. So how I got to Australia, I'll answer that in another video. Okay. How did you find a job that led you to Australia? So when I left Russia, right, I came on a 476 visa. That's a skilled graduate visa. Um, you come in, you work. It was an 18-month visa. You come in, if you work and you get a job in your field, you'll be able to apply for permanent residency. But coming in, naive Lola, I thought, it's breeze. It's going to be breezy. It's going to be a piece of cake. I'm just going to come in, get a job in engineering, and I'll be able to apply for permanent residency. Not knowing it was going to be a roller coaster of emotions and a crazy journey, but we thank God for everything, right? So I came and I couldn't get a proper job. I searched and searched for months, like engineering job. I did like a lot of jobs. I think I've talked about the different jobs I did in Australia. I'll link that video here or here. So I worked at a warehouse for like almost all of that period. I had an 18 months visa. After that, I needed to find another way. And then luckily or not, I don't even know how to put it. COVID happened, right? And then that was when my visa was expiring in April 2020. I didn't have another option. I couldn't leave the country. I was stuck here, but I didn't want to be an illegal immigrant for any reason at all. I was like, no, that would not be my story, okay? So I applied for a student visa. I did a diploma in project management, and then I had to move to Tasmania. I was living in Sydney at the time. I moved cities, and then I was able to like it took like another year to find a job here in Tasmania, and then I finally settled in and all of that. So that was how I got a job. So it's not like I had a job waiting when I came into Australia, Roberta. I came in not knowing anybody. I had someone I knew, but that helped with like accommodation, but it's not like I had a job waiting for me here. So I came in not knowing anyone, not knowing anything, and I had to figure things out. And it was crazy. It was a crazy couple of like months or years, I would say. How did you navigate when you first arrived in Australia in terms of settling? I'm hoping that I'm answering these questions properly. I've not done this in a while, so I feel a bit rusty. How did you navigate when you first arrived in Australia in terms of settling in? So when I came in, luckily for me, I had someone I knew here from uni. We went to the same uni, so he was able to help me with securing accommodation. Um, so that gave me like a teeny tiny bit of soft landing. I didn't even have a lot of money when I came here. I can't remember if I had up to like $1,000 with me when I came into Australia, fresh out of uni. I came in, I had to like try and find a job. Luckily for me, I was able to get a job within like 3 weeks of landing in Australia because I did TFN. I was in a bigger city, guys. This was 2018, remember. I came in October. So it was a thing of there are these agents in Sydney. They will help you find jobs. So you have to go register with them and then they'll call you. Of course, it's like a casual job. They'll call you and give you shifts or tell you, oh, this place. The bad part with that is not like you have a fixed job. This place, they'll tell you, okay, there's a 2 weeks contract here. You go there for 2 weeks, you work. You're paying them a commission from whatever you are making. They'll collect a small fraction of the salary you are earning because they helps you with connecting you to the job, right? So that was what I did. I was able to get that. But eventually, luckily for me, the company decided to hire me directly. They were like, okay, we don't want you to use the agent again. It was sneaky, but they were like, we don't want to keep paying the agent money, but we like you working here. So we're gonna hire you directly from the company without any middleman. So that worked out for me. And that helped with so where the person helped me find, I stayed there from October till December and I had to move. I moved by January 2023. I think 1st of January was when I moved out of the house. 1st of January 2023, I moved houses. It was a crazy period. I wasn't driving in Sydney. I had to figure things out on my own. It was interesting, but it was all right. As I was working, so in Sydney, I was just literally working, saving up, and trying to apply for other jobs in my field, but nothing came up immediately, which it is what it is, right? And then I moved here to Tasmania. So I wouldn't say I necessarily had soft landing, but I had a little bit with accommodation, but not that I had a job waiting for me or anything like that. I had to like try and find jobs and all of that. It was tough, but we thank God. I know I can tell you for a fact it is doable, it is possible by God's grace. So just reach out to people. You can start checking for houses and accommodation And I always say recommend like maybe get a Airbnb or something. It's easier to get like a shared accommodation when you come in because you need like a rental history. That'll be another video, but that is how I navigated with settling in and all that. The next question is, how do you cope being by yourself in Australia? Then the person put, does it get lonely sometimes? How do you cope being by yourself in Australia? I would say you get used to it. And when I say you get used to it, don't forget I left home when I was about 18 years old, right? So I left Nigeria at 18 to pursue my bachelor's degree. I left going to Russia. I didn't know anybody. I went on my own. So I've lived alone. I've been out of the country by myself, like without family for over a decade now, I would say, right? Mm, over a decade thereabout. So like you kind of get used to in uni, like uni life is definitely different from like work life. Let's not even lie. But at the same time, it was that thing of I knew my family wasn't here. I was used to that. So moving, it was just a thing of I'm packing my bags for better opportunity. And I moved across to Australia, which has been God's plan, I would say, because lines are falling in places for me over the years, and it can only be God's grace. And in all of this, you see us coming here smiling. Like there are so many things like you've gone through behind the scenes, but you're not talking about. But like we thank God, like things are finally falling in place. So it wasn't easy. Or till now, I still get lonely. I miss my family so much. And it's hard, it's very, very hard sometimes. Just living here by yourself, because I made another video about loneliness and I'll put it up here. I was talking about, and a lot of people were able to relate to that video. I was talking about living abroad and how it affects you, and how sometimes you just think about the fact that your family is like scattered all over the world and you never have that thing of, oh, it's Christmas, let's all go to our parents' house and have Christmas there or something, or meet at somebody's house. Like everybody's everywhere and it gets lonely and it is so, so hard sometimes. But I guess for me, it's more or less staying in touch with family and friends, communicating with them. I don't know how people in the olden days did it, where you have to write letter and wait like 3 months to hear back from your family. I don't know if I would have survived that era. But yeah, phone calls, messages, video calls, they help a lot, sending pictures and videos of each other to each other. It helps because like when you're missing them, you can go and look at the videos or pictures if you're not available to talk, and just like stay in touch with your family. I think that is one thing. And your friends. And then loneliness abroad is not a joke, and I keep saying that because I need people to prepare for that. There are days where it's like, why am I here? You're questioning everything. It's like, why am I here? And then I remember I chose this life for myself, and I'm happy and I'm grateful for where this has led me for now. um and yeah, it gets lonely, to answer your question, but you just deal with it. By the time you go to work, come back, you chill a bit, hang out with like your friends. Yeah, I don't have a lot of friends, and I'm happy. I'm fine with that because I want good friends. I don't want to have 100 people in my life that we're not even really on the same wavelength or connecting. I'd rather have like 5 people, 2 people, and I know like we're genuine with each other and I'm good with that. Okay. So like it gets lonely, but like I would say when you first come, maybe like look for communities to join, or like if you're into like the Nigerian community, I'm not really into it, but there's nothing wrong with them. I'm just not. I feel like I've been like, I won't say a loner most of my life. I like doing my things on my own terms, my own way. So like that community thing is not really like Egbejoda, I don't know how to call it. It's not really that for me. So I try not to get too involved. Do you get what I mean? So like there's so many ways to go around. Take yourself out. Being lonely or being by yourself doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Like it's okay. I've learned to sit in my thoughts. It's hard sometimes where you just want your brain to shut down, but like sometimes sit in your thoughts and ask yourself those provoking questions. What am I doing in my life? Am I happy here? Am I not happy here? What can I do? What can I change? How do I go forward? Or things like that. Like it is very important to ask yourself these questions, I would say. So yeah, it does get lonely, but you live with it, you figure things out. And with time over the years, you know what you want for yourself and how you want to go about your life and all that. So yeah, Roberta, thank you so much for your question. Moving on to the next person. Salami Rofiat has asked this question. So Rofiat asked this question. She's my namesake, by the way. Hi Rofiat, how are you doing? Um, she said she has some questions to ask. How did you get a job as an admin assistant? Did you have any experience before you got hired? Um, so with the admin job, I applied. I'm not even going to lie. I just applied for it. It was a very honestly getting that job was just it was time by God. It was God's ordained time. That's what I can say, okay? It was God's ordained time is what I can tell you because I applied for the job I believe in August thereabout. I applied in August. I didn't get anything. You know when you apply for a job and you've even forgotten. I didn't get any message from them until December. I was at my other job, my retail job, and then they called. It was a voicemail because I couldn't pick the call because I was at work. And they left a message. And then I heard the message. I was like, what job is this? I can't even remember. So I called them. I was like, yes, I'm interested in an interview. So they wanted me to do an interview the following week. I went for the interview. That was early December. Like for a month, it was zilch, nothing, nothing. I think they kept getting me to like bring documents for them. And at that point, I was like getting up. I was like, maybe I have this job. And then, no, actually, there was nothing that old December or so. It was zilch for like a month. And then 5th of January, it's crazy. I remember the date vividly, like happened yesterday, 5th of January, 2022. Yeah, it was 2021 I applied for a job. 2022, they sent the email, congratulations, you got the job, the contract, and I was so, so happy because I started doing retail as accountant office job, right? Did I have any experience before I got hired? I would say I had a bit, not like major experience. I just tailored my resume for that job. And like I had administrative experience. Like I know I can use computer. I know I can send emails, receive emails, reply, respond, and all of that. So you just put all those skills because like at my retail job, I felt like I was managing people in terms of like communicating with people, getting job done and getting tasks. You need to find your transferable skills, Rafia. That's what I can tell you. You need to find your transferable skills from wherever you are now to the job you want because there are always transferable skills. So it's just a way of finding out to word the things correctly. Okay, so like I'll call myself admin because shop assistant, attendant, you are there attending to people because I feel like the major thing they want an admin assistant to have is you have to have people skills. You need to be able to pick calls, talk to people, relate with people. At my retail job, I was doing that a lot. People call to ask for things and you answer their calls politely and nicely. People skills, being able to relate with people, being able to like get tasks done on a time crunch, like meeting deadlines and all that. So that is what I would say helped me with getting this job. I tailored my resume to that specific job. It is very important. If you're applying for 5 jobs, you need to have 5 different resumes to match each of those jobs, okay? So she said, I've been in New South Wales, Australia for about 9 months now on temporary visa. I would like to start looking to apply for an admin assistant role, hybrid preferably. Is it possible to get a job without prior experience in the field? If yes, please can you make a video on how to write a good resume to put myself in a great position of being hired? I'd really appreciate your response. And if you don't mind me sending an email, thank you very much. I'll put Rafia's questions up here. Um, so she's been here for 9 months. I don't know what visa you are on. You say you're on a temporary visa. I know um visitors visa you can't work, so I know it's probably not visitors visa. 9 months, that's been a while. Are you currently working? I can need a bit of background, but it's okay. Are you currently working? You can leave that in the comment section. Hybrid roles for admin roles is a bit tricky because they want you in the office. It depends on the kind of company and their kind of work culture that will determine if they will agree for you to like work from home or not work from home or something like that. Hybrid is really nice, let's not lie, but at the same time it can be a bit tricky. So I think I need you to go in, but I guess maybe you have family commitments and all that. You might need to go in with the idea like you're going to have to work in the office 5 times a week. and then you can negotiate later. I think when you go for the interview, ask questions like, what is the work culture like? Ask them, is it flexible? Can you work from home on some days and all that? Those are questions you need to kind of ask at the interview, just to get a lay of the land and know if that job is for you or if it's not. A video about writing a good resume to put yourself in a great position. I believe I have a video on writing a resume on my channel. I will link it up here. So if you're new to my channel, please go through my videos. I think um I've coded them by playlist. Check like migrating to Australia or something. I'm sure I have a video about resume on there. If I don't put it up here or here, it will be in the description box. So definitely check that out of yeah. I've definitely made a video about that. Um, with applying for jobs, like I said, you need to find transferable skills and just apply. Use your transferable skills from wherever you're working or like years ago or whatever, and put that on your new resume. Find ways to refine the words so that like it's catchy and people see it and are like, okay, this person looks like they have the experience we want. So it's not necessarily about having the experience before, it's about how you use your transferable skills and how you lay out your resume. I hope that question makes sense. Those were like all the major questions I got. Okay. I'm tempted to go into my Instagram DMs, but I do not, I am scared to go in there, if I'm being honest. I think I have a few questions. Someone replied to my story. Someone said, please help a brother with link to Australia, Biko. Um, I don't have a link to Australia. I applied for Australia via like skilled graduate visa role. This is from Emeka Steven. But I don't have a link to Australia, unfortunately. I'll come back and reply this person. And yeah, I don't even know. I think if you are trying to come and study, there are different like agents that you need to use to study. You can't just apply directly, right? And go on the migration website. That is what I would say. I will leave the link for the migration website in the description below. I think it's always there. Check on like the route you want to use to come into Australia. Read the information from the official Australian government website. That is something I've always said and I still stand by it. They are the source of the information. That is where you want to go. I'm sorry if the sun is going in and out. Like it's sunny, but like it's shifting. But I hope it's okay. But yeah, those are all the questions. To Rafia and Roberta for sending me the questions. I appreciate you. I say thank you so much for taking your time out to write the questions out to me. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping I can do Q&A maybe once every 3 months or something like that. Maybe a quick get to know me. I'm Nigerian. I live in Australia, Tasmania. I've lived in Tasmania for 4 years now, and it's been amazing. It was a crazy like 1 or 2 years. I would say last year was when I actually finally started feeling like I belonged here, like in Tasmania, like my roots were finally like the plant or the tree that was planted is finally like germinating kind of thing. It's been really beautiful here. It's very cold. People that come to visit are like, oh, it's cold. I'm like, yep. But you survive it, you'll be fine. What else? I'm from a very big family. And yeah, I have 5 siblings. What else? Yeah, like you're thinking about things about yourself and it's like, I don't know, it's me, I don't know how to answer that question. But anywho, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I was trying to make the Q&A not too long, but I think it has run over a little bit. Those are all the questions I got, and I appreciate you guys that sent the questions. Roberta and Salima, no, Roberta and Rafia. Look at that. RR. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next video. Okay? Bye.